Thank you very much, guys. Joined by Jankos here, and the first thing you said when I asked you about the interview is, first victory for EU, yay! So thank you for that.
Well, I guess NA is a bit better this year. I have to admit that, as for now at least, but I do believe as well that EU will bounce back. I do believe G2 didn't show what they're capable of, and I think next game versus CLG is going to look much different. But as for now, EU is the underdog, so I'm happy, and we will show that we are not that bad.
Show that you're not that bad. You had a victory here in a hard match. iNTZ was fantastic yesterday, and you went for a Skarner. That is something very atypical for you. You love to fight early, pre-15 minutes, so why this strategy here?
I do believe that Skarner was a good pick, simply because I could kinda catch everyone from their team. And also, looking at yesterday's game from iNTZ, they don't pressure a lot early, so we felt comfortable enough to pull out Skarner here and just kinda get away with it. And we also misplayed a lot the first gank top lane, which should have been a first blood, but it's fine.
I do believe that should have been a first blood. Jankos, talk to me about yesterday, because H2K's appearance at Worlds was highly anticipated. You got forgiven in your ranks. So what happened there the first day? Because when I talked to you guys earlier, you were pretty confident going up against AHQ.
Well, I think we choked a little bit. It's kind of known for H2K, where when it's high stakes, I guess, we don't play that good. I think the mistakes that we did, though, were really small, and there is not a lot of improvement needed for us to be first seed or second seed in this group. I think we can pull it off still. I think being so ahead against AHQ and then getting caught 10, 15 times is pretty sad. And then at the same moment, our mid-late game wasn't that good. But I think we will improve a lot for next game against them. And then on Sunday, we face EDG, which could be kind of interesting, seeing Forgiven lane against, yeah.
Do you want to have a prediction about how that will go?
I think it hardly depends on the matchup, but I think Forgiven should be ahead in CS.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Congratulations. First victory for H2K and for EU here at Worlds. So, Analyst, take it away.
Thank you very much, Shocks. H2K and Europe going to be happy to have picked up the first victory for the region against iNTZ here. And now I have to say that this did follow very much the pattern that was kind of predicted here on the analyst desk. Very strong lanes out of H2K, winning across the board in the early game. And it really just seemed that iNTZ did struggle at times to find their way back into it. But I want to go to you first, Official, because you talked about this is an expected thing for iNTZ, that they would get behind in that early game. Then let's take a look at Champion Select through that lens. What did you think about their picks, given the fact that they were or should be expected to be weaker laners?
Right. I mean, judging from the lanes, expected again they fall behind. Judging from the players, expected they fall behind. I think it's very risky to draft these two scaling carries. We've seen it quite a bit here at Worlds already, and every time a team has like things like an Orianna who needs a few items to be very good, and an Ezreal who needs 2 items to be very strong, we tend to see them fall very far behind, and it's hard to come back. You know, in this meta, talked about how H2K would win early game, expected. They actually managed to close out the game, which was kind of the surprise, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah, on top of that, I also think that H2K looked at yesterday's footage very closely, because they were willing to topside clear only on Skarner and then go for a top lane gank and give away pretty much all of bottom lane control just to stall out Yang getting that advantage. So that really wasn't all in on, you know, securing Odo Omne's laning matchup, just so it didn't get out of control as the mid-game progressed.
Yeah, I think if you look at the composition, what H2K did was they put the onus on iNTZ to engage on them. They had 3 lanes that were all pushing at the same time, took all 3 outer turrets 22 minutes in. iNTZ didn't take a single one, and they didn't engage on them either. So as the game went on, I think H2K just got further ahead.
All right, but now let's take a look at the fight that could have turned it all for iNTZ, brought to you by Acer here. It was coming 19 minutes into the game. A jungle invade for H2K, very scary moment.
Yeah, them going in here is very risky, because then this Orianna ball here spawned. You talked about during the game.
Yeah, so Revolta actually tunnels in, and halfway through the tunnel, the ball snaps back, and because they didn't buffer the Orianna ult, that would have been 2 members caught out, and potentially a dead Ryu at the very start of that team fight, and it looks completely different. So they took their one chance, but unfortunately an execution issue, which we see a lot in the IWC regions, not able to get it done.
Exactly. I think this was kind of what iNTZ were drafting towards, you know, get out of the laning phase, get 1 to 2 items fully completed, and then try and look for a team fight. Had they won that team fight, it could have been a different game, but H2K actually managed to outplay them here. Obviously, the ball falling off was a little bit unlucky. We got to highlight odoamne in that fight. You saw him just blast in there on the cannon. He played a fantastic game, and I'm so happy odoamne is now getting the spotlight, because so often you talk about other carries on H2K back in Europe, but odoamne is just this underrated top laner who's consistently playing extremely well. He showed it this game. He actually played really well yesterday as well, despite being under pressure. So I'm happy to see he kind of becomes the big carry in some of these fights here.
Player of the game here, odoamne, dealt 24k damage to champions. Clement, we had talked about the importance of the top side of the map for iNTZ, but if you're going to put performances up like that against Yang and Revolt, it doesn't matter what you do to odoamne, he's going to come out on top.
Yeah, exactly. I think that odoamne really defended that very well. He's like this absorption top laner, but in this game, he also got solo kills right underneath the enemy turret. So I think this is a player that a lot of people have very, very high praise for, and we're looking forward to more performances from him.
Yeah, and if the top side can keep winning that way for H2K, it just gives bottom lane even more room to breathe and do the 2v2 thing. So I'm excited that odoamne, once again, is getting some spotlight. Hopefully he gets some jungle pressure, because then Forgiven is going to be able to take over the map.
But really the story for H2K is, you know, we know they're going to do well early game. Almost no matter who they play, bot lane will be strong 2v2. Ryu is a very aggressive mid laner. odoamne is a good top laner. It's all about closing out the games for them. They actually went into the enemy jungle this time. They contested vision. They didn't just walk around river for 10 minutes. They actually looked for fights. So I'm really happy to see H2K kind of showing that yesterday wasn't the right H2K. You know, they really improved just from yesterday, and that's what we need to see more from them, because they are really strong early. It's about closing out the games.
H2K, they have found their footing here on day 2. There's still one more battle to play out today. And when we return, we'll see if LMS's AHQ Esports Club can take on the LPL's Edward Gaming. Catch you back here in just 3.5.
You've got to think, with the win yesterday, 3 wins may not be the goal anymore. This team has a legitimate shot of getting out of groups.
Damn right. Bringing Reckless mid on Ezreal, trying to wave clear, and H2K, oh, Impale. The flash Impale under Joxer, he flashes onto the miasma, first blood comes out. As well, flashes out of the way, good tidal wave, but oh, flashes it! God tier plays as Jankos picks up the second kill.
Yeah. Nice.
Go Nash, I think. Yeah. Control Nash, okay?
He's gonna take down Target. The double! My god, he goes odoamne, perfect timing on the cannon, and H2K look to do no wrong. H2K pick up the first win for Europe, and they do so decisively.